Welcome, everybody, to Freedom Mentor Live. I'm your host, Phil Pustiovsky. So glad you're with us tonight. Also joined by a brilliant real estate mind, Mr. Brian Bush. Welcome, Brian.
Hey Phil, how are you this evening?
I am terrific. So excited for tonight. We have a lot of exciting things to share, and it's a subject that you and I certainly are passionate about. I know we're always surprised at how rarely it's ever talked about. So to get things started, everybody, I want to make sure the technology is working. Everybody can utilize the tools. I'm gonna put up a poll that's going to show up on y'all's screen here, and it's going to ask the question: how many deals would you like to do in 2026? So if you see that right there, I want you to select how many deals you'd like to do in 2026. Maybe it's the first one would be a success for you. Maybe, hey, one is good, but two to six would be great. Maybe you're thinking six to 12. You're thinking if I could do about almost one a month, that'd be great. Some of you are thinking, wait a minute, six to 12. How about 12 plus? I want to do a lot of deals this year. And then the last one would be it depends. All right, so select there how many deals you'd like to do here in 2026. Again, trying to test the technology at the same time that would love to get a gauge on where our audience stands on this topic. How many deals would you like to do? And for those of you that are just joining us here, hopefully you're seeing a little poll that's popped up, especially if you're on your mobile device. That takes up basically the whole screen for you. How many deals would you like to do in 2026? All right. Well, thank you for participating here. Let's take a look at what everyone shared here. So, Brian, it looks like 33% or a third of us out there would like to do two to six. And do you see that, Brian? Has that showed up on your end too?
I do, yeah.
All right. We
Looks
got a
like,
third. Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, 33% would like to do more than a dozen.
Yes. Now, I have to admit, everybody, this was a trick question. So, the topic of tonight is more results, less deals. So, for those of you who did It Depends, fist bump for you, well done. So, yes, this was a trick question. It's not about the number of deals. It's about the quality, not the quantity. And this is a subject Brian and I have been so passionate about for so long. We've got a special guest that'll be coming on here tonight that is also going to share his experiences with bigger results, less deals, and how it's changed his life. But you hear it so often, don't you, Brian? People brag about how many deals they do.
Yeah, nonstop. It's always numbers, 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 but there's a big hidden piece in that, and that's really what we need to cover.
And that's profits. See, it's not about how many deals y'all do, it's how much profits you create. Because it's profits that create all the results that you want in your life. That's where you're able to have more freedom, have more choices. You can have a nicer home, have a bigger and more reliable vehicle. All those great things come from profits, not from deals. And that's the topic of tonight. We're going to show you how we do that, how we're different about that. In fact, our mentoring program, we share in profits. So we don't say we're going to share in profits on the first 5 deals or the first 10 deals. We share in profits until our people make $500,000 in net profits after all expenses. And whether that comes after 10 deals or 20 deals or however many, it's about profits and that alone. So Brian, a couple of weeks ago, we asked the audience what our average profit was. Now, some of you all, I think, were on that. And so if you were there, you probably know the answer, but I'm going to see how well y'all's chat is working. Go ahead there in the chat, write in there what your guess is for our people in our program over the last, I think it was like 6 months, I ran the report. Over the last 6 months, what's our average net profit? So go in there in the webinar chat, type in what you think the average net profit our people are making. These are from single family homes, and these are not luxury homes. These are your typical first time home buyer type price point homes. What's the average net profit? All right, so Abby has guessed 35,000. Journey is at 5,000. Average net profit. Michael's at 25,000. And think of it like The Price is Right, right? I mean, so you got to get as close to this guess as possible. So that's where Chuck was at 24,750. I can picture him there on The Price is Right. Kizzy way up to 70,000. Wow. Okay, so you think that we're pulling down 70,000 net? All right, Peter at 39,000. John at 100,000. Hey, look, we love that vote of confidence, but in the real world, 100,000 net profit on any deal is absolutely fantastic. Gary at 35,000. All right, it looks like our chat is working. And for some of you, if you're there in the chat and you've put some information in, if you're looking for the little button to hit send, it's not there. In fact, we had a meeting with Zoom this week about it, and one of their head developers was shocked when we said, no, it's not there. So you have to hit the enter button when after you type this in. 90,000 from Michael, 15,000 from Anthony. You know, we definitely have quite a spectrum here, don't we, Brian?
We do. We've got highs and lows. I love the highs. I love the optimism.
And then Presley is being the realist with the 3,000 there. Thank you, Presley. Well, here it is. Our average net profit on our deals over the last 6 or so months is 45,000. So y'all were right down the middle, right between the 3 and the 90. So 45,000. All right. Well, let's ask ourselves this question. Again, making sure our poll tool is working. How many $45,000 profit deals? I'm talking the profits. That's the net profit you can put in your bank account. How many of those do you need to do in a year to replace your income? Think about that. For many of you, your interest in real estate investing is ultimately to replace your current income so that you can live a life of freedom. So, how many deals do you need to do to replace your income when it's $45,000 in profit? Go ahead and select that right there. And yeah, 45,000. I often I'm asked that question. Well, I mean, what about commissions? What about closing? I'm talking after all that. That's what the net is. All right. Thank you all for participating and how many of these deals you need to do. Now, I'm gonna have a follow-up question for you all that you're gonna find real interesting as well. All right. So yeah, some 62% of you all are in that 2 to 4 range, as you can see there. All right. So now let's ask an obvious question. Let's say you were considering wholesaling because you've seen that that's the place to start. And that's what a lot of people do. And the average wholesale is like $5,000. How many $5,000 wholesale deals do you have to do to replace your income? Think about that. If you've got to do 2 to 4 45s, 5 goes into 45, what, 9 times? 9 times 2, 9 times 3. We're talking a lot of deals. We're talking a lot of paperwork, a lot of phone calls, a lot of emails, a lot of coordinating, a lot. Does that make sense, y'all? It's too many. Thank you, Ramon. It is too many. And what I've never understood, Brian, is why that is touted as a good technique.
Yep. Yeah, it's also 9 times the headaches. And let's be honest, there are some headaches that come with real estate. That's what we help guide our apprentices through. But you don't want 9 times anything except 9 times the amount of profit. So there's got to be a better way, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and there is a better way. We're going to share that with you. I got a quick story. After I had been working with my mentor at the end of or the beginning of that following year, I had the privilege of now being able to meet with a CPA because I finally made enough money. I could actually meet with a CPA. It actually mattered. Right? I didn't have to go get the free filing from H&R Block or whatever. I could actually talk to a real accountant and try to get some real advice. And as the accountant was looking through all of my information, I'm a pretty organized person, so I had all the closing statements, and you need that, by the way, when you start dealing with accountants and a lot of real estate deals. And as the accountant, his name was Larry, he's going through all the details. Larry stumbles upon the deal that made 56,000, and that stopped him in his tracks. And he said, "How did you do this?" I said, "Oh, it's quite a story, Larry. I don't know how much time you have." I don't know if I'm getting charged by the hour, but he goes, all right, I don't need to hear the story, Phil. Uh, I really just have this question for you. Why don't you go do more of these deals? And I was taken back. I hadn't thought of it that way. I was like, yeah, why don't I do more of those? And Brian, what are some characteristics about bigger profit deals? What typically happens?
I mean, there's a number of things you run into, but obviously it's about finding the deals that make sense and not beating our head against the wall on the ones that don't. And of course, we experience a lot of ups and downs, as we've talked about before. The ones that seem like they're going to be a home run tend to, find some problem and they crash and burn. The ones that just seem odd, we're not sure, and they end up being absolute home runs. So, it's really learning how to decipher and understand what the characteristics are. And that's what we do every day with our apprentices.
Yeah. So each deal's different. And one of the things that we've run into, at least I've run into in working with our people, um, is that the better the deal, the more money it makes, it's easier. It's the weirdest thing. And there's a phrase that our people like to say, a hot knife through butter. The less money you make on a deal oftentimes brings the most headache. It's something so bizarre. You just and then they go back to Larry's statement. Larry's question to me. Why don't you just go do more of those? And so that's what we've tried to impress upon those in our program. That's what we're trying to impress upon you here tonight. We're going to show you a practical way in which we accomplish that. We're going to go into great detail right now on that. And so our guest coming up here a little later too, Jordan, he's going to share how he went about that process because he took that philosophy and he ran with it, and you're going to love it. All right, Brian. So let's dive into how that actually happens because it sounds great, but let's get into the meat and potatoes. Brian, what type of buyer pays us the most money when we try to resell a property?
Every single time it's going to be a retail buyer. That's what we want.
What's a retail buyer?
So we want to be on MLS. We want to benefit from competition. We want to find the folks that are looking for a house to live in, not the investor that is going to need to make a profit, but the family that wants to make a home.
So we need to sell to someone who is not trying to buy it and resell it to to someone else. They're not an investor themselves. We're trying to go to the ultimate end buyer. Okay. So y'all, that is the retail buyer he speaks of. And when you do that, you go from making 5,000 to 45,000. Because now you're going to the end user who's not trying to negotiate the best deal. They just want that which is going to fit for their parameters. All right. So let's share with you how that actually works. We call it selling real estate the Freedom Mentor way. I want you all to pay close attention. And by the way, I'm looking at the chat at the same time. So if y'all have questions along the way, please ask them because this will help you. And this will help you for the rest of your lives. I want you to listen carefully. The rest of your lives, you can use this. Friends, family, you can introduce this concept to them. This is a technique that we invented and that works incredibly well. It works no matter which property you do it on. And it's worked over the last 15 years, up markets, down markets, it doesn't matter. When Flint, Michigan was in the absolute gutter and when properties are just flying off the shelves during COVID, it always works. But there's two things. The first thing is it is the best way to sell a house for maximum price, the fastest way you can sell a house. This is the best. But it requires you to have control over your emotions because this can play with your emotions some. And just stick with Brian and I. We're gonna take you through this, and so that you have a complete understanding of how it works. And then once you get done, you're gonna go, huh? Why haven't I been doing this? Why haven't I been taking this simple concept and going from 5,000 to 45,000? And where just a few deals in I'm more than replacing my income. You're going to see this is a stroke of brilliance, and it came through the school of hard knocks. It came from Brian and myself and our coaching team, in us continuing to refine a better way to sell a property. All right, let's get started. The traditional approach. So, Brian, the traditional approach is that they hire a full service real estate agent. Why do people think it's such a good idea to hire especially a leader in the marketplace, full service agent?
Well, they're supposed to be the expert in the marketplace. And of course, they're going to get you supposedly the most for your property. There's a lot that comes with that. And one of the things that always stuck with me when I first started working with you and you started explaining what to look for, I came across an agent. We were going to do a specific type of listing, flat fee. And when we did that, that agent told me, hey, it's going to take 90 days to sell. That's pretty typical in this area. And by following your methods, I was able to lock in a buyer in the first weekend. And that agent was just floored, didn't know what to do. And just to make sure it wasn't a mistake, we did it 7 more times over the next 3 months. And so he had to update his website and start bragging on just exactly how fast he's selling properties.
Yeah.
But it was really not his traditional approach. It was because we were doing it the Freedom Mentor way, and it's just it works.
So we got a nice comment here from John Lark. They do all the legwork. By the way, everybody, I have been a licensed real estate agent for over, let's see, is it 18 years now? Yeah. So I've been a licensed agent. I've been through all the continuing education. I know exactly what realtors do, how they do it. I know their business model, upward, downward, and sideways. Many of our students are licensed agents and do both. There's a very special place in the marketplace for agents, but you're about to discover that this model that they primarily operate in is antiquated and doesn't work very well when they're listing. Here we go. So most people hire the top producing agent because they're going to do all the legwork and all these other things they're going to do. They're going to get full exposure to the marketplace. And here's the advice you usually hear. Tell me if this sounds normal. Start with a high list price. See if there's any bites, right? Hey, let's just put it out there. Let's just see. Hey, who knows, right? You might get a bigger price. Who knows? You can always drop it afterwards, can't you? Isn't this the logic? Hey, somebody here in the chat, confirm if you've ever heard this logic for selling a house. Start high. You can always drop it later. Just want to test. Just want to see what's going on out there, right? You don't want to sell yourself short. Clearly, you want to get the maximum price, right? Okay. All right. Thank you, Lindy, Mark, Carlos. Yes, yes, you've all heard this. Um, all right. Now, here's the next piece of advice. And someone said this is how they buy the listing from you. They make you feel like you're going to sell it for more. That's true too. Uh, but then they say, you know what? We'll just drop the price after a month. And you know what? Whether or not we drop the price, if we wait long enough, eventually that property is going to sell. And Brian just used that example of the 90 days. Y'all, have you ever seen where a property that stays on the market longer magically sells? Really? Okay, maybe if it's on the market for like 3 years and then the appreciation of the marketplace climbs, maybe. We've been a part of literally tens of thousands of real estate transactions. It doesn't work that way. The longer a listing sits on the MLS, the more it rots. The more buyers think there's something wrong with it. So, this right here, this traditional approach has cost so many property owners so much headache, so much time, so much loss. I wish I put this on the slide. Just a big X. Don't do this. Just don't. Don't let your friends, don't let your family, anybody you love or care about, don't ever let them sell real estate with this approach as far as it relates to a high list price and whatnot. If they want to still hire an agent, that's fine. We can talk, but the agent needs to follow the process, the Freedom Mentor way we're about to describe. Okay, here's the Freedom Mentor way. First, you start with a low list price. Yep, I told you have to have control over your emotions. Low list price. You create a multiple offer situation, even in slow markets. That's right, even in slow markets. You can never list a property too low, but you can list it too high. You can write that one down. We have proven that thousands of times. I've had over the years. Students are just so scared, trying to control their emotions. Phil, if I list it this low, oh my goodness. And then it still works. And then afterwards, like, oh my goodness, it's like a magic formula. Yep. So you start with a low list price. You list it with a flat fee listing service. Now, you don't have to do this. You could use a full service agent, but usually full service agents don't want to do this. They don't like this because this requires, it starts with a W and ends with IRK. It requires some work. And a lot of agents don't like that, right? That's no bueno. And then the next thing is you use the multiple offer situation to get the best buyer. And we're going to talk about how this works, okay? Everybody following me? All right, let's get rolling here. Step one, start with a low list price. Why? Brian, why do we start with a low list price?
We absolutely want to get everyone possible through the property. So we got to be the best value on the market. I think you said it best, and this goes into that tempering emotions. When a student one time asked, where should I list? Should I be here? Should I be here? And I like the way you summarized it. If your stomach's not turning a little bit, that you might be leaving some money on the table, you're probably still too high. And that's difficult. It's difficult to think you might be leaving money out there. But that's where we start because that's what brings people through the door.
Absolutely. And I cannot stress this enough. Listen carefully to this. Turn up your volumes. Before you put your property on the market, whatever the property is, big house, small house, it doesn't matter the property, commercial property, doesn't matter. Right before you put the property on the market, there already are the best buyers already in the market. I call it the existing buyer pool. They're already there. They've been searching a month, 3 months, a year, however long. They already have their financing ready to go because they've been looking. They already know what they're looking for. They're already there. That's your buyer pool. That's them. And you can't lose them. You get one chance. It's like a movie premiere, right? If the movie's lousy after the first showing, they start putting up the reviews, the movie's terrible. You got one chance. And if you list it too high, they may never see it. The best buyers, they may never see that listing. So you have one chance to do it and to do it right. And that means when you list low, you'll make sure that that bait you put in the water is going to attract that big fish. So you have an existing buyer pool, but you got other stuff. Automatic notifications. People have Realtor.com, Zillow.com. The technology with those systems is so amazing. They will send emails in text, say, hey, a new listing. You don't even have to do anything like that. You don't need an existing buyer list. Zillow and Realtor and all those other Redfin, they already have them. But you got to list it low to begin with because you want them to see that notification, then to go, wow, that's kind of a good deal. That's what you need. An existing buyer pool, it's already there. That's where the buyers are. You get the notifications. As Brian said, you get that excitement. I refer to also the fact that a new listing is that fear of missing out. It's new. It's different. This is that one chance where you already have built-in scarcity. You got to play your cards right, and you got to do it right here. If you do this right, it's a magic formula. And this is where it's so foolish to have the traditional approach. Does that make sense, everybody? So foolish. When you put the property on the market too high, you burn through all of your existing buyer pool. Poof, they're gone. Automatic notifications, wasted. There is no fear of missing out on that new listing because it's listed too high. They'll just let it sit there. They'll just wait. And you certainly aren't going to create a multiple offer situation. Well, you can tell how passionate I am about this because I just tell you, it's driven me crazy how often I see this happen. And I'm just like, oh no, another one bites the dust. Another listing ruined by the wrong strategy. All right. So, Brian, tell us a little bit more about the flat fee listing approach and why that is just so effective especially for professional investors, people that are trying to make a living, making a lot of money with this.
And that's the real distinction because a typical seller doesn't know what they need to do. And so, honestly, a flat fee listing probably isn't enough service for them, that they're going to end up listed out there and not know what to do and possibly end up in a worse position. But for us as investors, we know exactly what to do. We want to be talking with agents, with buyers, negotiating contracts. We're going to deal with the inspector and the appraiser and the title company, closer, attorney, whatever that may be. So it's a perfect fit for us because we pay a flat fee. They do the part that we can't do. They pop it on MLS and then they stay out of our way because frankly the more work they have to do, the less that money is really making them. So it's a perfect fit for us. It's somewhat difficult to find, but that's who we locate every time.
Flat fee listing agents, what they do, everybody, is as a listing agent, they put the property on the local MLS system for a flat fee. It's $300, it's $100, it's $500. And then the buyer's agent, the one representing the buyer, they're the ones that get the commission of 2.5%. And I know that's been a big topic in the last couple of years, 3%, whatever the number is. I always pay 3%. I always pay more to the buyer's agent because guess what? The buyer's agent does the selling. The buyer's agent meets the buyer to go show the property. You don't have to show it. The buyer's agent does. They meet the agent, the new buyer for the inspection. They meet the appraiser, not you. They're doing the work. The listing agent doesn't do the work. The listing agent almost does nothing. In fact, there are entire books on the subject of how to be a millionaire real estate agent, and the entire crux of those books say become a listing agent because there's not a lot of work to do. The hard work is selling the homeowner and signing the listing agreement. After the listing agreement's done, their work is essentially done. Look, I've been an agent for almost 20 years. I know what I'm talking about. And those that get defensive and there's more work than that, not really. Um, the MLS does your marketing because they're the ones that are going to they're the one that are going to syndicate that to all the online website systems. So a flat fee listing, $100, 200, 300, and poof, you've got it out there, and you're paying less in commissions, and you have more control over everything because now that listing broker is staying out of your way. You get to focus on the offers coming in. You have complete control of the deal. And you get that multiple offer situation and you use that to get the best buyer. That's where you can get people to negotiate against each other and you get the right terms, you get the highest price. It's a magic formula, the multiple offer situation. Now, look, it can go a little haywire. Our record, by the way, Brian, comes from Atlanta, Georgia. I saw somebody from Atlanta where Bryce, they did something like they had 41 offers, they had 100 showings. There were cars stacked all the way down the road on a busy road to try to get in on that Saturday. It was the only property, I guess, in that zip code that was under 400,000 or something and still was FHA available, applicable. And apparently there was a massive amount of people. Can you imagine 41 offers? And the funny thing was, Bryce was like, Bill, I didn't think I listed it too low. I don't know what happened. But anyway, so yes, you can have a pretty multiple offer situation. But the idea is multiple buyers gives you the best chance at negotiating the best you possibly can with those buyers. And you can still ask for them to increase their offer, whoever the winner is. Because again, this is flexible. You're not by law required to sell for what you listed it for. It's just such a brilliant and flexible way to go about it. All right. So that is the Freedom Mentor way. You start with that low price to create that multiple offer situation. You list with a flat fee service, and then you use that multiple offer situation to get the best buyer. And you all, when this is done, this is how you turn 5,000, trying to flip it to some local investor or some investor buyer list. And you get that on the MLS and you get that syndicated to every potential buyer out there. And that's how you turn 5 into 45. And it's just such common sense at some point that you put all the pieces together and say, if it's about the same amount of work, why would I not make 45,000 versus 5,000? And it's that mentality of quality over quantity. It's that mentality of profits over the number of deals that can catapult your income. And when you sit in front of your CPA and they ask you, why don't you do more of these deals? These are the deals that are a hot knife through butter. They make more profit and they close smoother than the ones that are smaller. And then you're just like, yeah, I want to do more of those. And that's exactly what our special guest has done with his investing career. Coming up next here, Jordan And Jordan, you're backstage. You can go ahead and click to join us. Uh, Jordan is a graduate of our program. Jordan has been incredibly successful. Welcome, Jordan.
Hey Phil, how you doing?
Doing great. Thank you so much for being here, spending time with us tonight to share this beautiful philosophy of more results, less deals. So, as I said, Jordan has graduated from our program, meaning he's made a 500,000 in net profits with us, and we shared 50-50. He's gone on to do a whole lot more than that, and we're gonna learn more about your story here, Jordan. So, take us back to before you joined the Freedom Mentor program. Where were you in your career? What was going on in your life?
Well, I was a commercial insurance broker. I specialized in commercial marine insurance. I worked at a big downtown building on the 55th floor. Um, it was busy. Yeah, it was kind of like I was just pushing paper around an office most of the time, to be honest with you. It all had to do with whole insurance, which is essentially property insurance for a boat. Yep.
Interesting. So you're in a big high rise. Now I think most people would look at that and say you're living the dream. You got the big fancy office and
Yeah.
you obviously going up on an elevator. That's pretty cool and
Yep.
you're pretty important if you're up on that high of a floor. And
It
so
was a big office.
what drove you to consider real estate investing?
I've always had, I mean, just like most people, right? It's around you all the time. You know about it. I had an older brother that had done really well in real estate. So it was on my periphery, if you will. And when I think looking, if I recall, I remember seeing you online, probably like most people, and I said, kind of an interesting concept and, seems like a nice guy. And so I went through the process and, in fact, I remember the parking garage. I was having the phone call and kind of with the early guy talking about the program. I remember it like it was yesterday, actually.
Wow.
Um, but joined the program and kind of hit the ground running, if I recall. It was a number of years ago now. I've been out
Yeah,
of the program for a few years.
sure.
Yeah.
Now, everybody, just to give you a little bit of context here. So Jordan was in the state of Washington
Yep.
when he started his investing career. Real estate gave him the gift and the blessing of being able to move to his dream place, which is Montana. And
Yep.
so I want you all, Jordan, thanks for sending this picture, by the way. I want you all
Yeah.
to get an idea of his backyard right now. This is Jordan's backyard if he looks out of his window right now. How many of you would like that to be the scene of your backyard? And I'm assuming, Jordan, this was taken in the summer because that's
Yeah,
some
it was. Yeah.
grass.
Yeah.
Right?
I can't see the picture on the screen that we're looking at, but yeah, I think it might be.
Oh, goodness. Thank you for giving me the feedback. Hold on. None of y'all can. If you can't see it, nobody can. Hold on.
Yeah.
Jordan. There we go. Now we're showing his
There you
backdrop.
go. No, that's actually my front yard, believe it or not. That's taken
Oh, I'm
from my
sorry. My
driveway.
mistake. Yep. I got to fix that slide, everybody. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
All
Yeah,
right. So
as I drive down my driveway, my house sits about 50 yards from where this picture is taken.
I got it. Okay. Beautiful.
Yeah.
So you all, this is what less deals, bigger profits in real estate has allowed Jordan to experience. Now,
Yeah.
Jordan, you are a skier, right?
Yep, I am. I am. In fact, I went yesterday. I'm going again tomorrow. We're getting snow right now, so we're all kind of jacked up.
Oh, beautiful. Okay. I'll show you all some ski pictures here in a moment. So, uh, out of curiosity, how much skiing do you get to do in a ski season?
I mean, 35, 40 days would be typical.
Oh,
Yep.
you all
Yeah. I,
just imagine several years from now applying the methods and doing what Jordan did and being able to, whatever your hobby is, to do that 35
yeah.
or 50 times.
Yeah, I was just texting with a buddy right before this call. I'm going to be at his house right on the mountain tomorrow at 8:45 for breakfast, and then we'll be hitting the slopes for a full day. So it should be fun.
Oh, yeah. Well, that
Yep.
is fantastic, Jordan. So thrilled that you were able to stay the course on this
Yep.
and get real estate to put you in this position. Well, I'm sure folks would like to know a little bit more about some deals you've done. So again, thank you for sending these pictures.
Sure.
Let's go into this big deal. Union Avenue in Renton. Take us back to this one. Look at these
Okay.
pictures
Yeah,
here.
this is fun. This is
Yeah.
fun. Brian, you remember this one, of
Oh
course.
yeah, we'll never
This was my
forget this.
first deal, believe it or not. This was essentially a soon to be foreclosed on property where Scott Baxter got a hold of me, and I met him at this property. And it's the funniest story too. I haven't told it in a long time, but I meet him. He's kind of a weird guy, but shook his hand. He's kind of walking me around the outside of the house. And the house was, of course, trashed. I mean, look at it. It wasn't quite that dirty. That was actually like mid eviction on the top left picture
Okay.
there.
Okay.
After we already started moving stuff out, but essentially, crazy story is he wasn't even able to go into his own house because he let a bunch of essentially homeless people move into his house, like out of the kindness of his heart. Like, I just want to help these people. And then one of the ladies filed a restraining order against him. So he couldn't even go inside of his own house. And
Oh,
nor did I probably feel comfortable in going in the house, but that was kind of how the whole thing unfolded. Um, and telling you a little bit more about the story. So it was such kind of a weird situation. I was like, this is just too hairy for me. This is just not right. So I
right.
kind of like, thanks, but I'm probably not interested. I start walking off of his property, and he literally follows me to my car and says, hey, I need your help. Like, if I don't sell this to you, I'm going to get foreclosed on, and I don't know what to do. I don't know what else to do. So
Mhm.
this is my first deal, essentially. It was my first deal. So I was kind of quick on my feet, and I go, well, okay, well, what do you want to sell the house for? And he goes, I want to sell it for 250. And right on the spot, I was like, I was quiet for a second. You know what? Not 250, but I'll pay 150. And all of the people inside the house after we close, I'll handle it. And he was like, I like that deal. Let's do it. So
Mhm.
we went down the street and into a little taco restaurant and essentially signed a purchase and sale. And about 45 days later, we were going through the eviction with everybody at the property. It was crazy.
Wow.
That's a lot.
Okay.
That's a lot of information to throw at you, but that was like a number
Sure.
of years ago now.
No, it's beautiful. Okay, so
Yeah.
so you're going to have to evict the existing
Yeah.
occupants. How long did that take to get those occupants out of there?
Like I said, I think it took like 45 days.
Yeah.
And Brian, you were a part of that. You were
Oh
coaching
yeah.
me all the way through this. It was a lot of fun. I mean, looking back, it was a time of my life. Because of course I'm working, a day job, but this is so much more exciting. And as this started unfolding, I was dealing with like I had to hire like this kind of run of the mill. He was like an eviction attorney, and he was just
Mhm.
like it was like what you think of as like not the best attorney, but that was like all he did. And he got this thing done pretty quickly. And then we show up for the eviction the morning of, and there was like 7 or 8 police cars that showed up and surrounded the house.
Wow.
And because they were intimately familiar with how bad the property was for the neighborhood. There was like 45 disturbances calls, that they had to go handle. I think like even like in a given like 6 month period or whatever it was a lot. So everyone knew the names and knew who was inside. 2 people actually ended up being taken away in handcuffs because they had essentially like warrants up for their arrest or something crazy. And then Brian, I know I feel like I'm going kind of crazy here with
No,
this
you got to do it. I
story.
know where you're going. You got to tell the
Yeah,
RV part.
yeah. So what was so funny, Phil, is there was this really junky RV that was parked right where I'm standing in that picture. In fact, you
Okay.
can see that the pavement was still dry right there behind me. So
Oh
there's
yeah, 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 yeah.
so
Yep.
the police, I don't know what they were thinking. It was actually probably not the best police maneuver, but the police went right to the front door and past the RV. And then when they realized what was happening, these people started the RV and like raced out of the driveway thinking they were going to like run from the police.
On their Winnebago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like the Scooby Dooby mobile, like ripping out of the driveway. And of course, there was a policeman that actually chased them about 200 yards and pulled them over with the lights on. It was the funniest thing.
Oh, that is so funny. They thought they really
Yeah.
outsmarted those police. Oh, that's
It,
so funny.
it was so funny. I mean, it felt kind of dangerous for a hot second, but after like they stopped and like, we're probably like 200 yards away from all of it, watching it, it was really funny.
Oh, that is hilarious. So you get them moved out. And what
Yeah.
happens next with this deal? Because obviously we can see there's a whole lot of junk there.
Okay. Well, of course, I hire a bunch of people in anticipation. Some landscapers that actually landscape my house. Francisco and like 5 of his buddies show
Uh-huh.
up to this house. I'm like, hey, I need your help, guys. They pull all of the stuff out of the house and put it on the street, meaning the driveway. That's all the junk that came out of that house. And
Wow.
then that very day, the policeman said, "Hey, because this house is so trashed and it's been such a bad, situation for us as policemen, we strongly recommend that you board up the windows." So
Ah,
I literally boarded up the windows that very same day, and then just cleaned the property up, and then put it on, just like you said, Phil, put it on the MLS. Shortly within probably 2-3 weeks max,
yep.
cleaned it up as much as you possibly could. I mean, we were literally like picking up like hundreds of cigarette butts like all over the outside of the house, and
Yeah, yeah.
cleaned up the inside as much as possible. We put it on the MLS. Of course, we took off the boards off the windows,
Yeah.
and I think we got like 6 offers within about maybe like 5 days. I think we had an offer review date. So um, I know it ended up being a very successful deal. I was on cloud nine. It was my first deal, and it just felt so real, like when it actually happened.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah,
There you
there it
go.
is. Yeah.
I think it was like 147 or $148,000. I mean, I was shocked. I really was.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I just remember thinking like this actually works. I couldn't believe it. Because you
Yeah.
saw the house, it's not a real desirable place. I mean, there's a bunch of homeless
Right.
people crashing out in this thing. Uh,
Yeah.
but I bought it for a really good deal. Scott Baxter, I literally saved him from a foreclosure, and he
Yeah.
moved to the other side of the state, and he was happy as a clam. No, and I think he walked away with like, I think like 80 or $90,000 because he had equity in the thing.
Sure. Sure.
Um, and he was so happy, and it was like a win-win-win all the way around. And
Yeah.
and honestly, I mean, this is kind of weird that I say this, but I don't really feel so much that it's a real estate business for me.
Sure.
I
Sure.
always felt that real estate is a people business, and
Mm,
and it was definitely felt that way helping Scott.
sure.
He probably had some mental issues, quite honestly, after I got to
Sure.
know him a little bit, and he was definitely a different kind of cat. But I know that when he received his check from closing, I just remember getting a text message from him, and he was just so happy. He's like, "I'm driving to." He was going to go to this little wine town on this side of Washington State, Walla Walla,
Uh-huh.
to move. And he was just thinking it was just the best thing for him. And honestly, because we kind of became friends,
Yeah.
felt so good knowing like just crushed this big deal. But then also he was so happy. It was so cool.
Yeah, yeah, and look at the
Yeah.
smile on your face here. I mean, y'all can
Yeah.
see what he looks like now. So, this right here,
Yeah.
this says it all, right, y'all? When you put all that together, and you're right, you're trusting us, you're trusting Brian, like this whole thing's going to work out.
Yeah.
No, there's a little bit of concern here, right? I mean, I think some people get concerned. What if the house doesn't sell? I got the police here. I got people coming out in handcuffs. What I get myself into,
Yeah.
and then it all comes together here. Now, interestingly enough. Some would think, okay, that was a fluke, but your next deal made over 100,000, didn't it? That was another big deal too, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, yes, yes. I had a number of big deals. Um, yes, it was. It was. I know I know I sent you pictures on one other house we'll probably show, but that
Yeah,
deal changed my
that'll
life.
be
And that was
next
the
year.
6th deal. So,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
out of the way,
We're live here, guys. This is fun.
yes, you're doing great. Thank you again. So yeah, this is not a one and done. You go and you
Yeah.
duplicate this. Maybe not 140, but it's 100. These are big numbers.
Yeah.
Following the process, someone just Carlos, you asked in the chat here, how did you find this house? Well, that's a great question. Now, as I've shared in the past, our methodology is to connect with off-market sellers. And
Yeah.
you can hear that in this case, Mr. Baxter here did not have a real estate agent involved. He happened to be in foreclosure, but we don't market directly to just people in foreclosure.
No.
We have specific techniques which we keep pretty close to the vest. And we do that to protect all the people that are in our program to make sure that they don't have any undue competition. And so I put that out there, you all, because some of you all are like, Phil, just give me the secrets to exactly what you do. And that's one that we keep close to our vest so that people like Jordan can continue to live the life that he's always dreamed of living. Okay, so it's an off-market deal. So we're now going to fast forward a little bit here, Jordan, and you sent me a picture on this before and after.
Yeah.
Tell us how this one deal had such a huge result for you too.
Well, so this is my sixth deal that I indicated. This was also these people had lived in this house. If I recall, it was like for 47 years. One gentleman, his name is Jim Thurman, just a gem of a guy. And he obviously let a whole bunch of deferred maintenance starting to take hold of this house. And he was just getting to the end of his, of wanting to be a homeowner. He was probably in his, if I recall, probably like in his early 70s and just not doing real well physically. Actually, his wife wasn't either. Stairs in this house. And they got a hold of me and I developed a bit of a relationship with them and ended up buying the house. But this house where it sits is a prime area of where I was living. And it had a peekaboo view of the port, and you could see the ships coming in, and even the skyline of the city from the house itself. I mean, even literally standing in front of the house, it was crazy. So just a great spot, and I pretty quickly after I got in there and we cleaned it up, I was like, I need to keep this house. Like, I need to keep it. This is something I shouldn't just sell. This is a good house. So I turned this house into a rental. And literally, I owned it literally 2 years to the day, and I sold it. I sold it to do a 1031 exchange into a commercial property. My first commercial property, I think it was actually it was 4 years ago. Actually, is when this whole thing took place when I sold it. But this deal, as I indicated, Phil, this deal changed my life. And the reason I tell you that is I was able to sell this house for a big profit, like a $400,000 profit, actually.
Yeah.
I think I bought it for 430, and it sold for like 865, if I recall. Of course, there's costs there for the selling costs and whatnot. Sure. So it was a winner. I was able to roll the equity of this house into an apartment building, 1031 exchange. And that apartment building is a 22-unit building, about an hour and a half outside of where I lived in a smaller town. But the property has been a winner. It is always it's a full building. If we have vacancies, they're filled right away. I've kind of rolled a little bit into commercial real estate over the last few years, and it's been successful. And this was the gateway that got me into it. Yeah. This deal alone, I would tell you, probably from an equity perspective, I rolled that, call it 350. I've 10x that 350 in equity.
Yeah.
I really have. I mean, it's crazy to say it. I don't mean to come across like I'm trying to bragging on it. I'm not. It is the truth, though. It is incredible how it's all worked out.
Yeah, and it's so interesting, you heard him say, this is his sixth deal.
Yeah.
Jordan has mastered the art of less activity and more productivity.
Well, I know, Phil and Brian, you guys, a lot of times, I recall you used to say, so Phil, you like to say less is more sometimes. I remember you saying that. And then Brian, you would say a quick nickel is better than a slow dime. It's kind of like, you've got these kind of these mantras in the business, if you will,
Sure.
or signal, like you like to say, Phil.
Mhm.
Um, you guys taught me the business. I was not in real estate prior to this, and was able to really get some good fundamentals established early on. And I just kind of followed the process. Brian, you were my coach. I mean, we talked what, two, three times, four times a week at times when we had something to talk about, a deal to talk about,
Oh, we
questions I had.
loved it. Yeah, when the back studio came up, I think everyone
Yeah,
listening in just loved the soap opera. What's going to happen
it,
next?
it was fun. Yeah, and and this is the truth, guys. You guys were my coaches, but in the process, we have become friends. Like I've been out of the program for what, 3 years now, 2.5, 3 years, or whatever it's been. I'm not keeping track, but we've stayed in contact.
Sure.
And here we are years later, having a video talking, reminiscing about these deals, and it's awesome. It's awesome.
Yeah, and what's interesting too is you've gotten to know some of the other people in our program,
Yeah,
and you've built some lasting relationships, of course, with us.
yeah,
Obviously, everybody can tell Jordan is such a likable person, such a great person to be around. But you got a chance to connect with other people
well,
within our group, and they've
well,
become
yeah,
lifelong friends.
yeah. I was just gonna. I thought I didn't mean to cut you off there, Phil.
Oh, go ahead.
But I was gonna mention I've stayed close with Scott in
Mhm.
Providence, other side of the country from me. Literally the other side of the coast. We talk like at least once a month. It's the funniest thing. We've become buddies. He's gonna come out and visit me, and we're gonna do some skiing one of these days. So
That's great.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, and
yeah,
Scott's a graduate. Yeah, and that's the thing. Friends
yeah,
of the they flock together, and it's just been, yeah. You bring up a great point about just the relationships that have been built as a part
yeah.
of all.
Hey, I'm sure you guys probably know this. Scott's out of the program now, but he's taking down a fourplex right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's exciting. This was one of his dreams, and you all are
Yeah,
seeing kind of the natural progression as you
yeah,
master the art of what we do with these single family homes. You can then parlay them. In this case, the 10x of 350,000. There in the chat,
yeah.
how many of you all would like to make 350,000 on a house flip or a 2-year house flip, and then parlay that into a 10x of an apartment building? That's the real world.
Crazy.
That's what's happening out there.
Yeah,
All right. So we've got some pictures now
yep,
here. You're enjoying life there in Montana.
yep.
And who is that precious little daughter there?
Well, it's funny. She just looks the chunkiest little monkey right there. She's definitely she's now, I think she's 19 or 20 months. It's funny in
Okay.
the early stages you do the month thing. Um, but yeah, so that's baby Olivia. What's crazy, guys, whoever's listening here, I have two boys that are in high school. I have a senior and a sophomore, and then my wife about 6 years ago was like, I came to her in a moment of weakness and told her that maybe we should do one more. And sure enough, 4 years later, baby Olivia shows up, and and I'm not a spring chicken anymore. So
She will keep you a spring chicken then.
Oh,
yeah, exactly.
well,
Yep.
she's and so yeah, you got the boys in high school there. It looks like real
Yep.
estate has been able to provide you with the lifestyle that you'd always dreamed.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. I feel very blessed, very fortunate to have connected, and then found the niche that we exploit, if you will. I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but you
Sure.
take advantage of or leverage, and we've done it, and we'll continue to do it.
Yeah, and thank you, Stephanie, on our team just posted more on Jordan's story there because Brian had done a more detailed, in-depth interview with with Jordan and his wife Jenna. Jenna is an absolute sweetheart. She was a part of this experience the whole way,
Yeah.
and the two together, they worked so well together, complemented each other. So
So so
yeah,
Brian, Jenna and I's relationship. So it's like if you take a bowl of spaghetti and just throw it against the wall, she kind of fixes it, right?
Absolutely.
There's a secret
Yes.
sauce there.
The right strengths in the right places. Absolutely. It's a
Yeah.
wonderful mix.
yeah, because
Yeah.
you said she doesn't look at a lot of these houses. She stays more back home
She
while you're out
does. Yeah.
around.
It's funny. Jenna doesn't like when I tell her this. I was like, sweetie, you've only been to like a handful of properties in all these years. And she's like, well, she's like, she like thinks that like when I say that, like she's not working, it's like, of course she's working, but we all have our roles, of course.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
And Phil, I know I sent you a handful of photos in preparation for this what we're doing here. Do you have those pictures of my boys working by chance, or did you?
Yeah, no, I didn't put them on the slides there. I didn't know
Okay.
if we get to them or not. It looks like the timing worked out good, but I was a little nervous we wouldn't even get to the rest of these slides. So I don't have them, but yeah, there's
Yeah.
looks like you put them to work on doing a little bit of junk removal.
I did. It was that house, that sixth house on 23rd, the one that
Yeah,
we
yeah.
just talked about. That was there was a driveway and it had this detached garage off the back, and there was tons and tons of stuff in this garage, and we pulled it all out, and it's really tight right there. So we had to we had a hard time even putting like a dumpster on the driveway. In fact, we couldn't because it was too tight.
Well, if they were asking for a cut of the profits, you can remind them of the lifestyle they now lead, where he gets to ski whenever he wants and all this other stuff. So, yeah,
Yeah,
that was a family win-win.
yeah, it
Well,
was, no doubt about it.
Jordan, thank you so much for being here tonight. Man, this is
Sure.
fun.
Yeah, happy to talk with you guys. Happy, it's kind of fun to share this stuff because, I mean, it's what's interesting. And Phil and Brian, you guys know this. It's like you can't really talk about this stuff with just anybody because number one, they don't understand, and then number two, like if you tell them what happened, they're just kind of like, "Are you stinking? Like, are you?" Like they either don't believe you or they think you're bragging. And the fact is all of this did happen, and it's incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
Yeah.
you all show some love in the chat. If you're appreciative for Jordan to come on here, share some stories of deals he did, share his experiences, because clearly he's got a lot of other things he could be doing right now. Yeah, Jordan, it's just been so great to have you here. Thank you, Abby.
Yep.
Yeah, and you'll see there's a little bit of delay as people start to chat everything in and say a big thank you for your presence.
Awesome. Awesome.
Well, who would like to have who would like to be like Jordan? Like be like Mike,
Come on.
who would like to have a similar story that 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years from now they can look back and be able to have this kind of reminiscence that Jordan had. Yeah, it looks like Jared wants to be like Jordan. Hey, it is. All right, hold on a second. Let's see here. Yeah, no, this is oh, I lost video. All right, am I back? All right,
You're
good.
back.
Yeah, great. So who wants to be like Jordan and have the ability to go skiing 35 times during the winter if you're a skier? Maybe you're a surfer, so maybe you want to get
Yeah.
out, you want to get the waves 35 times during the surfing season when the swell's good. This is real. Now, obviously, this didn't happen overnight. This took several years to get there. Jordan, you got started what, 2018, 2000?
I think so. Yeah, that's what it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah, so it's not overnight, y'all.
Yeah.
But it's real. It happens. It gets
Yeah.
there when you have the right mentorship, you have the right team in place. So if you'd like to be like Jordan, then what I'd like for you to do, I'm gonna pull this up here. I'd like for you to select yes if you'd like to learn more about being mentored by me and our team. Jordan, you shared this earlier, but this is a result of real estate and as a result of Freedom Mentor, isn't it?
100%, Phil. Absolutely. Yeah. I saw your videos out of the blue. The algorithm was following me. The stars aligned. Honestly, I don't really even remember, but I know I saw you online, just like probably many people are. And you're a real guy. I've met you. We've spent time together. Brian, we've had many phone calls together. So yeah, I mean, we're real guys.
Yeah.
I'm real, as far as I know.
Yeah, yeah. No, you're real as real gets, man. Well, if you'd like to learn more about what our program is about, if it's going to be a fit for you, you heard where we're talking about how we share in profits. That's a big part of what we do. We have mutually aligned interests because when you succeed, we succeed.
Yep.
And so when you ask this question of me, you're thinking, well, Phil, if you taught all these people and you're so successful yourself, how come you want to teach other people? Well, first of all, I love to teach. You can tell I
Yeah.
get really excited about helping people live their dreams, but I
Yep.
also share in the profits, right? We work together. We do things together. And we're looking to do more deals right now. There's a lot of deals to be made out there. And the Jordans of the world have graduated. They don't need our help anymore. We love hanging out with them. We love chatting with them. But that's what this Freedom Mentor Apprentice program is all about. So if you'd like to learn more about being mentored by us, go ahead and select yes here on this poll. And if you selected yes, thank you for all of you that have done that. The next step would be when you'd like to connect with us. Would you like to connect with us right now, here this evening? We've got a couple of our team members that are backstage on this Zoom that can speak with you right away so that you can get your questions answered. Because you probably have lots of questions, and I hope you do. Right? Jordan had a lot of questions when he first got started, when he was trying to figure out if this was the right fit. And we expect that. We look for people that have really done their homework and really want to make that move. They want to make that change. They're serious about real estate investing, and they want to work with the right people. They want to be aligned with the right folks. And so if that's you, select when you'd like to connect with us, either right now or you can schedule for later, because I know it's already 8 o'clock right now, and we were planning to wrap up here at the top of the hour, get close to it. And so maybe you've got some other things planned. That's fine too. Schedule for later. We try to be as convenient as we can be for you. So select either right now or schedule for later. Again, Jordan, thank you, thank you,
Yeah.
thank you. What a blast it's been.
Awesome. Yeah, it's been fun. Do I exit stage left now, Phil?
Yeah, that's where you click that button, right? To go back to backstage. You certainly can and I promised you an hour, and we wrap up at 8 o'clock. So there, yeah, definitely feel free to. Jordan, thanks again so much.
Good night, guys. Awesome talking to you.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Jordan.
and thanks everybody else for showing the love for Jordan, for being there. Have a great night, Jordan. All right, everybody. And so if you selected right now or scheduled for later, here's your next step. I want you to now go to, and we're going to put a link in the chat. And that chat link is going to be freedommentor.com/apprentice. And when you go there, that's where you can schedule, and that's when you put in your information so we can contact you right away. So you go to freedommentor.com/apprentice. You see that in the chat right there. And I'm going to show my screen, everybody, so you can see how to fill that out. Right here. When you come to this page, by the way, that video, the background of that video is my place in Isla Mirada. So while Jordan loves the snow and the and skiing, I like it tropical. I like it very, very warm. I'm in Florida. So when you get to freedommentor.com/apprentice, then you come here to this quick form. First of all, select your state. We want to keep our people spread out. What you want real estate to do for you. What's your big why? Why is this so important? And then how much do you have available to invest in real estate right now, as well as the basics, your name, email, phone. And then how you'd like for us to connect with you. You want to do it by us calling you right now, or would you like to schedule that appointment? And if you do, again, when you click select schedule an appointment, next page, get to schedule your appointment. All right. And so this is the next step for you to be like Jordan, for you to have that life of freedom and choices and flexibility. And it's real. You deserve it. You can achieve that. You're meeting these people. Some of you all have been on a few of our others of these live events, and you've seen these are real people just like you. They were in your seat a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago. They were there where you are. And look where they are now. And it's because of this Freedom Mentor Apprentice program. It's because of Brian, myself, and our team pouring our heart and soul into turning people into successful real estate investors. And you got that chance here tonight because we're looking to do deals with others. We're looking to do more deals right now because there's a lot of opportunity out there. So go to freedommentor.com/apprentice, fill out this form. And then once you do, when you hit submit, you can either, our team will call you right now. A gentleman, Caleb, a gentleman named Frank, they're there to give you a call, and they'll answer your questions because I'm sure you've got them, and I'm glad you do. Well, you all, the next step here is I'm going to transition this. You're going to see a video that shares some other examples of other people who've been incredibly successful with Freedom Mentor. So you can continue to get this idea of what this is all about, what it's really like to be mentored by Brian and myself and our team, and what it's like as far as the timing and the scheduling and how it's going to fit into your plans. Well, everyone, thank you so much for joining us on this training on how to get more results with less deals. Brian, thank you so much for joining us tonight as well.
Thank you for having me. Always a pleasure.
Absolutely. Well, everybody, check out this video. Make sure you go to freedommentor.com/apprentice, fill out that form. If you want to be like Jordan, if you want to finally achieve the financial freedom that you know you can and you deserve to be experiencing. And we'll be back here Thursday of next week. Thanks, everybody.